Good afternoon from the National Weather Service Forecast Office in Norman. This is a briefing concerning our upcoming winter storm. This briefing was recorded at 2:30 p.m. on Tuesday, December 3rd. We are looking at the main impacts from this winter storm to affect our area from Thursday night into Friday morning. Highest impacts that we're expecting right now in our county warning area will come from ice accumulations, possibly damaging ice accumulations over south central and southeast Oklahoma, but we are expecting widespread travel impacts across the region beginning Thursday night and continuing through Friday. Our neighboring National Weather Service offices have issued a variety of winter storm watches from western central Oklahoma into eastern Oklahoma and all the way over into eastern Arkansas. These watches will cover this winter storm as it develops, moves across Oklahoma, and points further east. So if you have travel plans or relatives that live further east of here, this winter storm will be impacting them as well. Remember, as we're talking about the different precipitation, that what falls at the ground is totally dependent on what the vertical temperature profile is in the atmosphere. If the entire column of air above our heads is below freezing, it's below freezing at the surface, it's below freezing thousands of feet above our heads, then we'll get snow. But what we're going to be dealing with in this case is a layer of warm air above the surface. And depending on how deep that layer of warm air is will determine whether we get sleet or freezing rain. I think a lot of us are going to see all three of these before all is said and done, but it's going to create some complications and makes the forecast just a little bit difficult to nail down at this point. We are expecting two primary rounds of winter weather across the area. Thursday morning through late afternoon Thursday, that'll be our first round. We anticipate this to be light precipitation. Very light snow in those areas shaded in light blue, and light freezing rain through the day in those areas shaded in the pinkish purple. It doesn't take much freezing rain to cause travel problems, so we could get slick spots on bridges and overpasses. I think roads will be in good shape on Thursday morning, but Thursday afternoon could be a little more dicey, especially on bridges and overpasses as those slick spots develop. The main round of precipitation is expected to be Thursday night, overnight Thursday, and into Friday morning, 10 p.m. Thursday to 8 a.m. Friday roughly. That's the main round, and that's the reason for the winter storm watches being in effect. These locations are going to change as we go through time. So please don't take this information and think that it's the final set in stone, absolute outcome of what's going to happen. These positions and locations are going to change as we go through time. Right now, as of this afternoon, we're thinking that snow will be most likely over those counties shaded in the light blue colors. This would include areas basically north of a line from Stillwater to Altus, roughly in that area. So if you're along or north of that line, you can expect mainly snow, probably some sleet added in the beginning, but mainly snow from Thursday night into early Friday morning. The purple shaded area is where we're going to have a transition between snow and sleet. And most of that purple shaded area, this includes everybody along the I-44 corridor from Wichita Falls to Lawton to Oklahoma City, up to Chandler, and on up into northeastern Oklahoma. We're expecting quite a bit of sleet, possibly up to an inch accumulation of sleet, and that's enough to cause significant travel issues. Our big concern, though, as far as high impact weather is going to be over southeast Oklahoma. Those counties that you see shaded in the pinkish color, including Ada, Ardmore, Colgate, Atoka, Durant, Henrietta, Texas, down into south of Wichita Falls. That's where we're expecting freezing rain. Now remember that freezing rain is liquid water as it falls from the sky, but it's falling onto surfaces that are below freezing. So as that liquid water falls onto power lines and trees and tree limbs and roadways, it freezes on contact. And we think we're going to have enough accumulation of ice, perhaps a quarter to a half inch, maybe more, accumulating on those trees and power lines that we may have some problems with power outages. I think that just about anywhere shaded in any color here, all 56 of our counties are probably going to have some type of winter precipitation, and most of these counties are going to experience some dangerous travel conditions at some point overnight Thursday through the day on Friday. Everything's going to tail off and end slowly from west to east on Friday morning. So between 8 a.m. and noon, areas shaded in the light blue may expect another inch of snow possibly. That includes the I-44 corridor, and we expect more freezing rain and sleet to occur from Ardmore over toward Atoka and areas south of there. So we would expect, again, dangerous travel conditions to continue during much of the day on Friday. It will remain cloudy. Most places will not get above freezing on Friday, so we expect travel conditions to be just as bad in the afternoon probably, if not worse than they were on Friday morning. This is our very preliminary estimate of amounts, and this is going to change possibly significantly between now and then. So again, please check back with us often. This is not the absolute final version. This is our working forecast as we have it right now. The main thing that should draw your attention is the area shaded in red. That's where we are using the term ice storm possibly to characterize what we expect to happen. This would include areas from Holdenville to Ada to Ardmore to Waurika, and maybe as far as southwest as Henrietta, Texas, Wichita Falls, Texas. That red shaded area has the highest potential of receiving ice accumulations 1/4 to 1/2 inch, possibly up to 3/4 of an inch of ice. That's enough to cause serious problems with power lines, trees, damage. So if you're in that red shaded area or know someone who is, you need to make provisions to be dealing with power outages. Do you have food, water, medications, pet food, provisions, a safe heating source to make you self-sustain and make you be able to withstand this power outage if it happens beginning late Thursday night and continuing into Friday. The orange shaded area, a little bit less ice accumulation, more sleet, so areas from Seminole to Duncan and Lawton down to Coral, Texas, we may see up to a 1/4 inch of ice. That could still be enough to cause some power outages, but we don't think it'll be as concentrated or as serious as the red shaded area. That area shaded in blue and light blue is where we expect the sleet and snow to be most widespread. We're showing accumulations of 4+ inches, possibly from Ponca City down to Perry, down towards Stillwater, with a broader area of 2 to 4 inches, including Enid and Kingfisher, and down to Clinton, Weatherford, Cordell, Anadarko, El Reno, Edmond, Guthrie, Stillwater, and possibly as far south as Chandler. These numbers are going to change, and these are not exact. So we want to give you the general idea where we think the snow is most likely to happen. And just like we saw last time, don't be surprised if we see higher amounts in there. So somewhere in that light blue or white shaded area, we could see 6 inches, 8 inches, maybe even more in a very localized area. Very often with these winter storms, you'll get an area, maybe a county-wide, that has a band of very, very heavy snow that's very localized. It's impossible for us at this point to tell you where that's going to be, but don't be surprised if somewhere in that light blue shaded area or white shaded area we see some higher snowfall totals. And again, this is what we're expecting to fall from Thursday through Friday. One thing that you can do to help us out is to report your observations. If you encounter sleet, snow, freezing rain, you can use this app called the MPing app from the National Severe Storms Laboratory. If you just look up MPing, M-P-I-N-G, that's a project being put on by the National Severe Storms Lab to determine precipitation type. Your report, we will see your report as soon as you submit it, and that will help us know where it's sleeting versus freezing rain versus snow. Radar can't really tell us that all the time, so you'll help the forecasters and you'll help the researchers. So if you haven't tried the app, we encourage you to try it during this event coming up over Thursday and Friday. Monitor our webpage for the latest information, weather.gov/Norman, and of course follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and watch our YouTube channel for the very latest information from the forecasters at the National Weather Service office in Norman.